righty, gang. Well, all right, here we go. It is Friday. Thank God it's Friday. And we got the PCS show coming up real soon. It's amazing. It's a month away, Bob. I can't even believe it. Here we go, back into the trade shows. And it's going to be an incredible show. If it's anything like last year, my gosh, we're going to just see a zillion people and take care of all the great people that we see and cool products. And I know you got some cool products to show everybody. But first of all, Bob, you've been on the show like 3 times. Michael Folks and I had you on here for the history of sport fishing. I've had you on here. But you are synonymous with the Newport fishery. I can't remember a time where you think about Newport and you don't think Bob Hoose. You've been around forever, buddy. And your dad, yeah. He was there before with my dad and everything.
Newport. Yeah. It's well, like your harbor, there's a community and a culture of fishing families, and just like Dana Harbor, Newport Harbor has the same. And I growing up here, I got to experience some pretty cool fisheries and captains and the change of guard. And I remember riding my bike down to Orange Julius, which was right behind Davy's Locker, and we would jump on the Western Pride and do a more at Hills Field and run down into Orange Julius and sell burgers, and from there it's the connection.
So do you remember when your dad? Yeah, it's jumping around, it's popping. I don't know if it's you or if it's me. I think it's you. Yeah, it is you. 100%. He's back. He's gone. Okay. He's in. He's out. I don't know, Bob. You're not in here. You want to just? We can hear you. Can you hear us, Bob?
Can you hear me?
I hear you. I don't see you, but I hear you.
Yeah. How about now? It's uploading.
Still don't see.
Oh,
why
man.
don't you do this, Bob? Why don't you jump? Oh, there you go. You're back in. Okay. Can you talk?
Yeah.
Okay.
We were talking about Orange Julius and all the Groms, all the dock rats. My crew were working there, and we'd fish on the Western Pride in the morning, and then run in, flip burgers, and maybe even get a twilight trip after our shift. And I did that job when I was 15, and I ended up getting fired for being late on my lunch break. We would body surf Balboa out next to the Balboa Pier, and on my 3rd time when the waves were good, I was late, fired. And Mr. Anderson taught me a good lesson in life, like, don't be late for work. Ever since then, it's been like, oh my gosh, what is going on?
I don't know. We're breaking up really bad. Why don't you do this? Why don't you try to get out of the whole thing and then get back in again? Something's wrong. If you can jump out of this thing, close down, and then re-sign in, I think we got a better chance of getting you there. Gang, you don't want to miss the PCS show. The Pacific Coast Sport Fishing Show at the Orange County Fairgrounds is going in on the 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th, and it is going to be an absolute phenomenal show. You can use that QR code right there to get your tickets, and you want to be at the show. It's going to be absolutely incredible. I'm going to be there. Bob's going to be there. So many of our members are going to be there. Hey, let's try Bob this time. Al. Can you hear us now?
I can hear you now.
All right. So we'll throw that PCS show up in the middle of this screen while we're talking to Bob. Bob, one thing, I bring Pete Grossbeck, Michael Falk, so many different people on here. One thing that blows everyone's mind, and no kid would do this today, but when you were a little kid working at the Orange Julius and fishing on the boats and stuff, you never thought about what you were going to get paid. You just were stoked to have a job, right?
I remember exactly for my 5-day work week, I got paid $136 for the week. And we would spend that, that was walk that down to Davy's locker and go, how many half-day trips can I do? And, that was the 80s was the, albacore fishing in the summertime. And after 4th of July, that was like the kickoff. And after the Orange Julius gig, I got a job pumping fuel for at Bisbee's, working for Bob Sr. And the boats used to line up, on Friday night all the way down the harbor, getting fuel where we're in. And it wouldn't be far. It'd be like, below Clemente, the 43, but the boats didn't have to go too far. And anchovies for bait, and I mean the boats were stacking them back then. And then that would go on all July, and then like late August, one of the sport boats would hook a marlin on an albacore jig, and then everyone would go out looking for billfish. And back then, a striped marlin was like the holy grail, that and a swordfish. So after we got our fill of albacore, we went right into fishing marlin in late August, mid-August through October. And there's certainly a lot more swordfish around. I remember just about every trip we'd see a couple and try to bait them. And, the kids had young eyes, good sharp eyes on the boat. And I'd be like, Dad, there's one right over there. And then after that, after the fuel dock job, I went to school in Colorado, and I had a job on the Newport bait barge. So I was scooping bait for the Newport fleet, and got to know all the boats. And it was a great job. I mean, we'd be real busy scooping bait, and then around about 10 o'clock, you'd bring your deck chair out and try to find a herring in the bait receiver, cast it out and catch a halibut or a big sand bass. And so I mean, great times. And all the boats are still around, and the guys were doing the same thing. When I was there, it kind of transitioned into the sardine fishery for bait, and saw the anchovies less and less and more sardines. But wow, we had, when the sand bass were on the flats and barracuda in the spring, it was a cash from selling bait all day out there. And
what a great way to grow up.
Yeah. And working on the barge, I got offered a lot of side deckhand jobs. So a lot of the yachts that were going south, they would, they'd be like, hey, you want a delivery job, or we're going to the Cape in the fall. We want you to go. So I got to ride on a lot of boats early in my career and experience that Magbury, and get down to Cabo, fish the tournaments. And it was just an amazing time. And some of the captains around back then, they were legit. They were really good at what they do. And there was a couple boats that were out of Newport, very innovative. And the one that comes to mind was the Hanapah, Tom Flagger on the Hanapah. And this was back in the mid 80s. And he used to come out on the Hanapah, and he'd take anchovies, and he'd go over to Catalina. And I'd be like, what what are you guys fishing for? And he said, bluefin. And I'm like, what? There's no bluefin around, and at Catalina. So he would go over there with a tank of cure. They would make squid. It was like August. Make some squid up. And they'd anchor up on the Farnsworth and chunk anchovy and then fly line squid out. And they'd get these school bluefin, 15 to 30 pounders. And I was doubtful on what he was doing, but to the harbor with a flag flying and like, oh, he's got a rack of bluefin on the boat. Now that was like before anyone was doing it.
That is phenomenal old stories of the fishery that we had in Southern California when we had the anchovy, right? Bob?
Yeah, it was quite the program. He had fit chumming with the anchovy and using the squid as a hook bait.
Yeah, like I always say, gang, the anchovy is the key to the whole thing because everything eats them. And then if you got the fish boiling behind the boat, you slip a squid back there, oh my God, you're guaranteed, right, Bob?
Yeah, it was, you didn't see bluefin back then. There's a couple guys that get them over at San Clemente Island, anchored up, fishing the chovy on, Pink Andy, backside West End. And, but Tom was doing that, and then occasionally you'd catch one while you're albacore fishing, but it was like bluefin in the 80s. It was so rare.
Hey, you kind of skipped over the marlin thing, which you've been synonymous with for a very long time. Talk about what it was like fishing for marlin back in the old days when, well, I say the old days, in the 80s. It was kind of a different thing than it is today. There wasn't a lot of lures. There wasn't a lot of stuff going on. You guys had to innovate, right? Bob? I think he needs to jump back. I think you need to close up and come back in. Your internet sucks. Your internet, oh my goodness. I don't know what the deal is, gang. This show eats more people's internet than any show I've ever seen before. Absolutely incredible. It just doesn't make sense. I don't understand it. Why this show always eats everyone's internet. It's absolute crazy, crazy thing. So get your tickets for the Pacific Coast Sport Fishing Show right here. We got that QR code up on the screen. You can see it there. Get your tickets for the Pacific Coast Sport Fishing Show right here, right now. You guys won't be disappointed. You got to check out the show the 5th through the 8th at the Orange County Fairgrounds, and then the 19th through the 22nd at Del Mar, which is a brand new show. We haven't been down there yet, so we're really looking forward to seeing all of our members and all of our friends in San Diego for the Del Mar show. I know a lot of you guys don't get up to Orange County, so this is going to be great for all of you. So make sure you get your tickets, and you can get them right here online. All right, Bob, you're back. No, you're not back. What was I thinking he was back for? I don't understand. I don't understand what the heck's going on here. I don't get it. Hey, where is he now? I don't see him. He's gone. I don't see him. But the Pacific Coast Sport Fishing Show is going to be phenomenal. And on the night of the 7th, Saturday night, if you come to the show, be prepared to stay a little bit late. We're having fan appreciation out in the parking lot, barbecue. Captain Al Clowers bringing his motor home. Everybody's bringing tables. Let me tell you something, gang. We need lights. If you guys have those little lights that you run off a battery. Make sure you bring them to the show so we have lights. That was our biggest problem last year, is we didn't have any lights. So when it got dark, it was tough to see everybody. We still made the best of it, but this year, Matt and Mike Lewis and everybody's reminding me to tell you guys to bring some camping lights, battery operated. We don't need a forest fire in the parking lot. Bring lights. Kelly and I will supply all the hamburgers and hot dogs and water and sodas you can drink and eat, and be there. If you got a potluck, you want to bring something you think everybody will enjoy eating, go ahead and bring that. But it's going to be on the 7th, Saturday, after the show, in the back of the parking lot. It's going to be insane. So, Bob, are you with us again?
Yeah, I'm back on. I apologize. I'm not sure why I'm dropping out all the time.
This show has a tendency to do that to people.
So we're talking about the shows and what's going to be new for Costa. We have a booth at both Orange County and Del Mar. And we're introducing a new Costa sunglasses for junior anglers. And this sunglass was designed for ages 10 to 16. We have two, the schoolie and street heat. And it's polarized lens, all the cool stuff that men's and women's styles have, but it's just a smaller fit and half the price.
Wow, that's a cool deal. Get the kids wearing the
yeah.
Costa early.
Well, we get, the kids come by the booth and the men and women's frames don't fit their heads. So our R&D guys designed a smaller fit, and we got a bunch of kids, that fish and, measured their heads and got a couple new frames out. And the neat thing about it is we got the cost down to half the price of the regular styles. So I think the Groms are going to be excited at the show if they're in the market for a new pair of sunglasses. And then we're also introducing a new frame called the Pilot House Pro. And it's a rimless shield lens, one piece, one price. It's got frame ventilation and should do well at the show.
Oh yeah, we're showing part of the Costa website here on the screen, and what Bob's talking about here. You can talk about showing these.
Yeah, so there's going to be, we're going to have all our retailers at the show. We're going to have the full selection, and it's one of the best times to buy a pair of sunglasses with all the show deals. And if you go in there, Dave, on the site and type in Pilot House Pro, it'll come up. Yeah, type in Pilot House Pro, and that's our new rimless shield lens. Very different. Click the blue lens over on the right-hand side. There you go. That's the model. Very different for Costa. It's a shield, lots of ventilation. I personally, I've never worn sunglasses with that, a one-piece rimless shield, and I just got a sample pair to demo, and we're gonna fish tomorrow. We're gonna go out and try to catch a halibut, and I'll be wearing those and report back. But by all means, stop by the Costa booth. We're going to have several retailers there selling. Fisherman's Landing always has a show. Turners will be there, Island Tackle. So 3, possibly 4 retailers, all their inventory at the Costa booth and all the different, deals that they have. And same for Del Mar show. We'll have the same retailers, Fisherman's Landing and Turners. Can you see yourself rocking some of those, Dave?
I used to wear blades all the time. I would love a pair. I
Yeah,
would love a pair.
what colored lens do you like? And I'll set you up for the show.
Do they have the gray ones?
Yes, the gray. Okay, I got you down.
Click
We're
on the
gonna
gray one, Elliot. Let's see. That's clear. Is there gray? Oh,
no,
those are sick.
that's good. Yeah, yeah. And they're light too. It's a polycarbonate lens, and they've done a better job with the material to prevent it from scratching. So they're super light, and you have less material in the front. It could be a hit. I mean, if it looks decent, and we're gonna have some fun with this frame.
Well, why I like blades, and I always like blades, and these are going to be spectacular because my head is like a weird shape. So it cups the sides where I have so much of the problem. And don't get me wrong, I wear Costas every single day, but the sun bleeds in on the sides. And this is going to cool.
Yeah, that's
Oh my God.
full wrap.
It's
Yeah,
so perfect.
yeah. Okay,
I got those
you
ones.
down for pilot out.
I got those ones you talked about last year. I went out and bought a pair with my discount with the I can't even remember the name. The ones you guys showed off last year, the new ones with the little leather
King Tide.
whatever.
Yeah, King
Yes.
Tide, the shields on the side. Yeah, King Tide. Yeah.
Those really help.
Yeah, we have like there's two different categories, like, and it's very different. You have the lifestyle frames. Yeah, that's the King Tide. That's the most advanced frame we have in the Costa category, and it's got the side shields, adjustable nose piece, ventilation on both sides, and as far as lens technology goes, that's the new Rose lens. If you click on that one to the right, the sunrise silver mirror, it's the far right, the circle right there.
Is that it?
This is sunrise mirror, Dave. If you're fishing up here over June gloom, overcast, this lens, that sunrise lens, really pops the light. It brings all the light in. And I was down in San Diego, and I was talking to all the captains on the long range boats, and they were saying, Bob, I'm typically, fishing bluefin in the spring and summer. I'm in the wheelhouse. So you got that shade. And then it's usually overcast, gray, gloomy. And I ordered a bunch of this sunrise silver mirror lens in frames that the guys wear down there. Dropped them all off on the boats and at the offices, and my phone just blew up the next week. They were like, Bob, we love it. This is the perfect lens for overcast days, fishing in the gray in the morning. So if you're, a bass fisherman, you're sight fishing.
Well, we lost you again, Bob. Dang it. I'm getting super excited checking these sunglasses out. I am super excited to find out what you were talking about for the bass fishermen, because Captain Al Clowers and his group, they would love these things. The thing about this probably work really good for kelp patty fishing too, right? In the gray in the winter time when you are in that overcastness. Can you hear me? Do you hear us?
I got you.
Okay, there you go. So those lenses we were just looking at, the silver mirrors, those things probably work really good for helping find kelp patties too, right?
got that light amber. It's going to pop the colors. And if you're fishing a kelp line or shallow structure, they're really good for seeing under the water. And a lot of guys, even the last of the harpoon boats out there fishing swordfish, a lot of the guys, the striker, they like to keep these on board when they're out there and they got to see underwater and underwater fish. And they're really good for sight fishing, overcast days. And when you're fishing that tuna in May and June, even July, it's typically overcast in Southern California. And our green mirror, our blue mirror, and even the gray was just a little too dark. And you have a pair of these on, the light's going to pop, the colors are going to pop. And so I'm hearing at these shows, they'll come to our booth and they'll be like, hey, I own a pair of Costas. I got blue mirror. I got green mirror for my bass fishing. What's my next choice? And I always point them to this sunrise silver mirror for like a second or third pair. That's what you want. If you have a gray, a blue, or a green, you're covered in the sunlight, bright days, overcast days. But that June gloom, early morning, late in the day, this is what you want: sunrise silver mirror. And we're gonna do our show orders to include that lens, that sunrise silver mirror on most of the frames, just for guys looking for that second pair. And women's, of course, we've got those too. We're going to have it in all the women's frames as well.
Yeah, Kelly girl, she loves her Costa sunglasses. You make some really, besides functionability, you make some very stylish glasses too that,
Yeah, the women like a little style. Women like a little style. And it's, like you said, it's going to be a great show. Everyone's already talking about it, and I am excited to go down to Del Mar. I haven't been to that show in several years, so it's going to be fun to get that going again down in Del Mar. And you get a lot more of the San Diego crowd at that show that you didn't see them at the Orange County show. They all come to that one.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. Gang, what
are you
What?
Are you hosting your seminars at both shows?
Oh yeah, we'll be speaking every single day in Del Mar, just like in the Orange County show. We're going to have our booth set up right next to the stage at both shows. We'll be in the back of the tent just like we were last year, and we'll have our big stage, and we'll be doing all of our shows. And all the people will be Justin and Ryland doing the kids show, and it'll be spectacular. But Bob, what I wanted to bring up here, and I like to talk to you about this, is the sunglasses are so important, gang. When you're out on the water, you got to understand these sunglasses that people are wearing because they look good. They're not gonna help you. They're gonna cause a massive amount of burnt retinas, because what happens is when you have sunglasses on and you're out on the ocean, your retina opens up, your eyes dilate because you're trying to look through the sunglasses, and then you're burning your eyeballs. Costa, the polarization of these sunglasses and the ability to stop that sunlight is a huge plus for guys like me and that are susceptible to burnt retinas because I was dumb when I was young. And this is just, you can tell the difference when you put on these things. They take good care of your eyes. Can you talk about that for a minute?
Yeah, and a good example is my brother is to have surgery on eyes from the sun. It's hard to protect your eyes when you're out surfing in the water, but he's my age, 58, and he just went in for surgery, and the doctor's like, wear sunglasses a good pair of sunglasses on the water or at the beach. And as far as us being out there, it's just it makes perfect sense. You're going to see things that you're normally not going to see without them. The lens technology is going to pop the color. It's going to protect your eyes, cut the glare, and also, when we've got a bonita or barracuda up to the boat and the jig pops out, it's going to offer you some protection from going into your eyes. So I look at it this way. Your eyes are one of the most important features on your body. You got to protect them, and if you can do it with a good pair of Costa sunglasses, more power. I'm I in my little arsenal of sunglasses, I have 4 pairs. I've got my pair for offshore sunlight days. I've got my gray lens for when I'm on the beach. I don't really need, that wearing now this Pilot House Pro. So I'm rocking four different in my travels.
We got Air Pelikia on here. He's saying that he's been using that lens color for 40 years. And guys, nobody spots fish better than Carl. My God, some of the best footage I've ever seen in my life comes from Air Pelikia on the internet. Right, Bob? Did we lose you again?
Yeah, Carl, I've been to get the lens color. Carl.
Damn it, Bob. You're breaking up again. Gang, while we're waiting for Bob to get back on here, I want to show you something Todd and I put together for you guys. Check this out real quick, and then we'll get Bob back in here. But Todd put together a great video for me. I think I got it. I don't know. Yeah, there it is.
Hey guys, Captain Todd here with McCarty Yacht Group and Manson Marine. Guys, I'm down here in Dana Point Harbor and it is beautiful. Guys, I just want to let you know if you guys are interested in buying or selling a boat right now, you can give me a call at McCarty Yacht Group. My number is 949-547-7748. We helped some beautiful people get into some wonderful boats this summer, and we're hoping that you give us a call so we can help you get through the entire process. It's not always as easy as you'd think, and you need somebody like us that has the experience to get you through it, from putting in offers, getting you through surveys, and getting into that final acceptance. If you guys are interested, give me a call at 949-547-7748. And hey guys, if you're interested in management, we have some spots open for yacht management. And this is a full service yacht management. We take care of the ins and outs of your boat so you don't have to. Make sure it's turnkey at any time. If you guys are interested, let me know at 949-547-7748. I look forward to hearing from you.
And if you didn't catch his phone number because he was rattling it off pretty quick, you can grab that QR code at the bottom of the screen right below Bob's chin there, and you can grab that and you can go and find out all about Todd Manser and McCarty Yachts and see what boats they have for sale. And if you're thinking of selling your boat, there's nobody better in the business than John and Todd to make sure that you're getting well taken care of. So are you back with us now, Bob?
I'm back.
What is up with your internet today? What is up? My goodness. I don't know.
Is it?
It's pretty badass, that internet you got going on there, Bob. Can you hear me? Nope.
Yes.
Yes, what? I can't hear you. I don't know what's going on here. Bob? We'll try jumping back off and jumping back on again, Bob, because obviously we're not getting you. I can't hear you at all. I don't know what's going on. Can you hear me at all, Bob? Bob. Nope, can't hear you. Can't hear you at all. Hello. I don't know. Try getting out and getting back in one more time. If not, we're just gonna say go see the Costa booth at the Pacific Coast Sport Fishing Show. Wait a minute, who we got here? Hello. Hey, Bob.
How about now?
We got you good now.
Okay, I'm on my cell phone. The laptop was not working good.
All right. Here we go. Now you're good.
Okay.
All right. So what were you saying about Carl?
Oh, talking with Carl, he needs a certain lens for, his type of, looking through on the plane as a pilot. And we've gone through most of the different lens colors, and that sunlight silver mirror is a good one for him. It seems to work the best for what he's doing. And oh man, I just love all his following his Instagram. It gets me fired up, each day. Like when I'm not out there, I just go on Carl's site and be like, okay, what are we seeing out there?
Absolutely. And I guess those bluefin are already biting a lot of 100-pound fish in the count 100, 200 miles south of the border. I saw it on Phil Freeman's show this morning. Again, they're still catching those bluefin. So here they come again. Here we go.
Yeah, here we go. Well, hopefully it starts biting in April because both of us are going to be busy in March, right?
Oh, yeah. Yep. You know how it goes. Right when we start the shows, that's usually when the fish show up, gang. But don't be disappointed if they do, because it's going to be a good thing. But Bob, before you got all interrupted and we got into the sunglass thing, I asked you a question. I want to get back into it. What was the marlin fishing like back in the 80s?
Oh, it was good. There was, on the anchovy cycles back then, it was all anchovies. And I remember when I first started, like this is like late 70s, going out with my dad, and we were transitioning from trolling flying fish off the riggers to there was the 7-strand green machine. That was like one of the first lures that the guys were pulling. And so I didn't get a lot of that trolled flying fish. I remember as a kid, young, being out there, and we'd buy the flyers at Bisbee's, and then the guys would rig them up, and we'd drag a lot of mako shark bites, and then I'm not sure who started it back then, but all of a sudden we were seeing that 7-strand green machine on the boat. And then that quickly transitioned into the 7-strand 1220 clones. And I remember we had the package 7-strand 1220 clone. It had the scoop nose, and we would have them on the fuel dock. You go up in the office, and we had like four or five pegs, and like 8 or 10 deep. And on a Friday afternoon, as the boats are coming in to get fuel, those pegs would be empty. Everyone was buying the 1220 clone. Mackerel, just the mackerel clone was the best seller. It was rigged with a 9.0 Mustad Siwash hook, free swinging, 200-pound mono leader, and you had a 4-aught Penn Senator with 30 or 50-pound mono, and some of the tuna club guys were fishing Dacron. and you had there wasn't any drop back. We just troll lures till you hang a fish. And then I remember Whitey's at Angler Center, he started making these rods with the ring tips. And then all of a sudden we got into, hey, if you come up on feeders and they're on the anchovies, these new guides are going to allow you to cast a mackerel onto the fish. And it was usually we did it more times than not from the stern, and not a lot of people had the bow bait tanks yet. We had the pulpit railing up there, but we were just learning, and so the captains would come up on feeders, kind of kick the boat off to the side, and like Cabo charboat style, you throw it out there, and we would catch our mackerel usually under kelp patties on the way out with you remember them, the red and yellow Lucky Joes.
Oh yeah.
So we catch the mackerel, and we had, those would be used for a feeder or, a swordfish. We always had one swordfish caster on the boat, and you could buy those. They were the Saber blanks back then. It was a 50 and an 80, and it had the big ring guides. Down the line, AFCO came out with a roller ring tip, and that was like the hot tip that you wanted on both your marlin caster and your swordfish caster. But a really cool thing, my recollection of that marlin fishing back then was there wasn't a lot of catch and release. A lot of the boats would bring in a fish, and the Balboa Angling Club, which was right next to Davy's Locker, on a Saturday afternoon, Helen Smith was working the office, and they had these chimes that would go out, speakers down that were outside the club and almost went down to like where Davy's Locker is. And when you heard the chimes, all the tourists would run down to the BAC, and the boats would back into the slip, and Helen would get the crane out. They'd hoist the marlin, and it was a big deal. I mean, there'd be 100 people on the dock watching you weigh your fish. And when I was a little kid, I was like, one day that's gonna be me. I'm gonna be standing next to that marlin. And if you go back before that, there was the Pescador restaurant on 17th Street in Costa Mesa. That was an old dive bar restaurant where all the captains would hang out after fishing. And if you went in there after fishing and you caught a marlin, they would serve you a cocktail with a marlin flag. And it was they had a chalkboard in the bar, and they'd write down the daily catches, who caught what. And you didn't have to go far, Dave. It was like the 14-mile bank down to the 267, and another good area was just right off Main Beach, like 6 miles. A ton, dozens and dozens of 30-foot single screw sport fishers that were run out of Newport with captains, full-time captains. These little sport fishers going out, they'd leave, 6 in the morning, and they'd be back in at 3:30, 4 o'clock with a couple flags flying. And the anchovies were around. You would see feeders stay up for minutes, 5-10 minutes of big groups of feeders. And it was the heyday. And then, in the like mid 70s, the Pacificas started coming out. And the 44 Pacifica was their flagship. That boat, made in Costa Mesa, they launch it in the back bay, and then they tow it out to Bisbee's. And I was working on the fuel dock, and JD had the tackle shop in the back, and they actually made custom rods for depending on what color Pacifica you got. There were 2 colors. There's the the royal blue trim and then the brown trim. That was super popular in the 70s. So we had everything from like a 20-pound bait stick on up to an 80-pound swordfish caster in the Pacifica colors. And it was a whole row of them. And these owners would come in, brand new Pacifica. They get fuel in the boat. The boat's brand new. The owner would walk back to the tackle store and go, okay, give me, 4 20-pound albacore 196 sevens. Give me 4 30-pound trollers. I'm going to go to Cabo, so give me 4 80 trollers. Give me a swordfish caster and a couple, bait sticks, and that was it. And then we'd sell them the 4-aught Senator, Penn Senator for their trollers. The 6.0 was for your albacore troller, and we had a 6.0 with the Newell conversion kit for your swordfish caster. That was like the cat's meow. And then as soon as the internationals came out, that was like, oh my gosh, you got an international. But I mean, wow, what a fun time to experience that marlin fishery. And it was good. I mean, I just remember every day you would see fish, or someone would call you in on fish. No phones, so it was all. We didn't have terrafin, we didn't have water temps. It was all like, you just had to figure it out. A lot more coding with a group, on the radio. And I mean, what a epic time to grow up. I mean, so many fish.
And I love how you get so excited. That's why I wanted to go back to this, because was a wonderful time in your life. And as excited as you get right now, you can only imagine how excited Bob was when he was doing it in the 80s as a young man. I mean, this was pretty spectacular stuff. And you got to meet a lot of really good captains and do a lot of really cool stuff out there fishing those marlin, right?
Yeah, that was like the holy grail, to come in with that flag flying. If you caught a striped marlin, you were like, that was legit. That was like, little clap to the, bow to the boat coming in. And I didn't see my first like bluefin over like 50 pounds until 1992. And, my dad and I drove down to San Diego, and we were on the Pegasus, and we went like 120 miles down, and there was that school of bluefin down there, and they were like 50 to 100 pounds, and you just got destroyed. You had your 4-aught, with 50 pound or 60 pound, and you're trying to fly line an anchovy. But I will say, we had that 83, 84 years, the El Nino, and the big eyes showed up, big eye tuna. And the marlin guys had all the right stuff, because those big eyes would hit the marlin jigs a lot of times after 5 o'clock. So we would go out during that El Nino, we'd go out, fish marlin, and then stay out there, run the same jigs. You might go from a 30-pound outfit and to your 6.0 with 50 after 5 o'clock. But it seemed like every day, or when they were around after 5 o'clock, the big eyes would start showing, and you get a jig strike on a big eye tuna, and they were up to 150 pounds, and they were close. I mean, a lot of the bites were just outside Newport, and I mean, 5-6 miles out of 14 267 right off your harbor. And that was when we started seeing like, whoa, there's these big eyes out there. And then that went away, and we were back to marlin fishing, and now we have the bluefin fishery. And it's really tough to in the summer months to get guys to go marlin fishing with this bluefin around. The kids are like, no, we're catching tuna. So there's the old guard still out there, but it's harder and harder every year to find guys or crews to fish marlin.
Right. Well, like Pete Grossbeck was on the show a few months ago, and he is saying the volume of fish out by Catalina and up at the Channel Islands, it's pretty damn good nowadays. But no, it's hard to get them to get off that bluefin and get into that striped marlin. It's just
You don't
they're
want to
having
fish it.
a hard
Yeah.
time.
And the guys, like the kids these days, their expectations are much higher. And if you grew up, in the summer and the fall fishing marlin, you would expect a slow day, and maybe not even see a fish when you're marlin fishing. And if you got a bite or two, that was a good day. The kids these days, I take them out marlin fishing, and they just get bored. I mean, they don't want to look. They don't want to, you know, keep the pattern working good, and they want to fish bluefin. Just more excitement. You're chasing those tunas around, but there's still enough, anglers around in the summertime tournaments to put a crew together and go out and have some fun. But Dave, remember the Drambuie, the Catalina Classic? I mean, 150, 160 boats fishing a billfish tournament. All the legends were out there, and those days are gone. But it was fun while it lasted.
Oh, it was. It was. Well, Newport was synonymous for us and Dana Point. We would like look up towards Newport at you guys, and you guys were the true yacht guys, and Lasley and Grossbeck and Miyagawa and Beak and those guys. And you could only, I don't know why. I don't know why, because we had boats in Dana Point, but you just kind of looked up to Newport and you were just like, those are the Marlin guys, And Todd
Yeah.
Manser, he broke the mold, and Tom Shanahan, they both came out of Dana, and so
Oh
Dana had a
yeah.
chance, Dana had a chance, but it was cool back in the '80s, and it was such a neat fishery, and we're in these days now that it's a neat time to be alive, and the bluefin, the marlin, all the other stuff that's going on in California. My dad, before he passed away, would say, these are the good old days.
Yeah, it's good. And this is interesting, Dave. I just did an interview for Captain Mike Harkins. He's the captain on the Western Pride. I thought it'd be a fun article for Pacific Coast Sport Fishing, and it's going to come out soon. And I interviewed him last week, and we were talking about the fish, and he goes, Bob, this past summer with the anchovy on the beach, it was the best bass fishing he's seen on his boat in 10 years. And he said, like, starting in June and almost till end of August, they started catching sand bass on the flats again. And he said he'd never seen that in his career. And he started in 2012. And he's like, Bob, we were up on the traditional flats, Huntington Beach flats, and metering these, schools of sand bass, and really good calico sand bass, a little bit of barracuda. And he goes, man, I've heard about this, but now I'm running the boat and I actually get to, experience it. And we were just all fired up on what that anchovy did for the coastal fishing. And we were talking about, hey, what's in the crystal ball? And he said, I think it's more of the same, for this year. And the water is still relatively warm. I haven't been out, but we're gonna fish tomorrow, and I mean, it's great to hear that these areas that we thought had gone away, and they're seeing fish on them again.
Yeah, it's my dad used to tell me it's all cyclical. And if you can just wait, and you and I, we've been around long enough to see the cycles come back. And these, like Mike, the young captains, and I call him young, even though he's not young anymore, but they haven't experienced what we've experienced. But can you even imagine when they're going to be looking at this when they're 35 or 40 years down the line and they're going to be looking at this and who knows what's going to happen. And thank God we didn't lose that sand bass because it was like,
Yeah.
it was right there.
Really close. Yeah, really close to being gone. And I mean, that's my whole childhood is in the summer on my dad always had a boat. And we used to we'd go to, I mean, I don't even know if you remember this, but there used to be Roy's Bait and Tackle underneath the Pacific Coast Highway Bridge. And we would go in there and we got Silver Flake Scampies. He's like, Roy, the owner of the store, is like, you want Silver Flake Scampi? These white jig heads? Just go up to the flats and you're going to catch all the sand bass you want. And I mean, that Scampi, Silver Flake and root beer, that's all you needed. And after we got our sand bass, we put those Yankee jigs out, the blue and white, green, yellow feathers, and we catch bonita all the way to the harbor mouth. And it was like, wow, this is like, I mean, that was how you learned to fish. And if you had there was that jig, the spoofer, and then until the Tatty came out, we'd slow troll those bone jigs for barracuda, and that was super fun. That was my childhood. Run up to the flats, catch sand bass, scampies, put the Yankee jigs out, catch all the bonita you want. If you see a spot of terns, there was barracuda on it, and sometimes a small yellowtail. And then 4th of July, grab that zucchini, and you're going albacore fishing.
Exactly. And that was all brought to us by the anchovy. So
Yeah, it was, and remember back then we had the rubber core sinkers fishing the anchovy. Like you never see those anymore. Like
no.
no one uses a rubber core, and it took us years to learn how to fly line an anchovy. And then the sardine came about, and I have a lot of friends that got into fishing, after the anchovy, and they're getting pretty good at casting a sardine. And now we'll go out and we'll be at the island, and there's just anchovies, and it's just like picking out bird nests one after the other. So if I was an angler, I'd be learning how to fly line a anchovy for this summer.
Absolutely. It's the best. I talk to my members all the time about the anchovies and how you remember when we were little kids, go in the backyard with a clothespin. And
Yeah. And that mustache. I remember the white box, the 94150 hook, the number 2 bronze. And you'd have those, the rubber cores, and a little tray of scampies, and that was it. That's all you needed. And interesting thing, Mike and I were talking about, how to get the kids and the family into the sport, especially on half day trips. And he said, man, if you can get them on the spinning gear to start, and the gear is so good, and braid with a small little top shot of like 10 or 12 pound mono or fluorocarbon, they can cast an anchovy out there, catch a surface calico. And once they get comfortable with that, then they can, invest in a conventional rig. But he goes, even for his bottom fishing, he likes to see the novices on that spinning gear with like 20-pound braid. If you're fishing deep, that braid's going to help you get down. If the bass are up on the surface, they can cast a fly line chovy. And I was like, wow, I mean, we didn't see spinning gear on the boats, or if you did bring it, you kind of got some funny looks. But nowadays, I mean, he's like, all our rental gear, half day trips, spinning gear, and everyone has a good time.
yeah, well, you got to admit, Southern California is kind of an entity. It's kind of a weird deal because all the rest of the world fishes spinning rods.
Yeah, we're
It's
just
something
just
about us.
yeah, We don't want to. And this is a good topic for the show. I was talking to Mike about, the big passenger loads, and you know how it is on a sport boat, on a bass bite, and there's 40 people on the boat and everyone's hanging bass left and right. He goes, what I like to see every passenger bring is a pair of pliers. So they only have 3 or 4 guys on the deck. And he said, if the bite's on, you got 30 or 40 people with a short bass or a keeper, they have to stand around and wait till a deckhand. They can only go so fast. He goes, bring a pair of pliers on these trips. Have your pliers on you, and you can help us. If you get a short bass, you can take the hook out, pin another bait on it, and get back on the bite. So that made sense. I was like, wow, never would have thought of that. Tell every novice, new angler, make sure you have pliers in your pockets.
That's a good tip. That is a really good tip. Well, Bob, I am amazed that we blew through this hour this quick. I want you to just to go back and touch on we're going to go a couple minutes over, touch on the sunglasses again, because we were bouncing in and out at the time. And real fast, for the next 5 minutes or something, what are the cool sunglasses we're going to get to see this year at the Pacific Coast Sport Fishing Show? And what are the must-have? Because you were talking about the kids' sunglasses. I think that's
Yeah. So as far as the new launches for Costa, we're going to have that Pilot House Pro, and that's the rimless shield lens. It's one piece, and that lens is going to have this same. It's our 580 lens technology, but it's a one piece lens. It's got lots of ventilation, a good wrap to keep the sun out from on the sides. That's going to be the new one at the show. And for the junior anglers, we have a new small frame fit, and this age is for 10 to 16-year-old kids. We have 2 styles: the schoolie, the street heat. Comes in all the different polarized lens colors. And then we were talking earlier on the show about that sunrise silver mirror. So if you're in the market for a second pair or maybe a third pair of Costas, take a look at that sunrise silver mirror lens. That's going to be great for overcast days, June gloom, early morning, late in the day. It's going to pop the light, sight fishing, seeing stuff, kelp patties, birds, breaking fish. That is a lens color, a must have for an angler that wants to grow his quiver. And that will be available at the Costa booth. We're going to have our retailers' inventory in the booth, Orange County and Del Mar show.
That is spectacular. Gang, I want you guys to understand, Bob Hoose is the man's name. You're going to go to the Costa booth. You're going to talk to Bob about the sunglasses that he's talking about. And as you can tell, if you guys talk about fishing for a minute, Bob's going to talk about it for an hour. He's got a great history. We didn't even get to touch on the Tuna Club and all the cool things that you're doing there, but my goodness, you got so much history, Bob. It's always a pleasure to bring you on the show and talk fishing with you. And the new sunglasses, gang, check out Bob at the show. Costa Del Mar's got a giant booth, 30-foot booth at the show. Are you going to have the van in the booth?
No, we have we have 30 feet, but we're gonna have 20 feet for Costa, and then we have 10 feet for Costa prescription. So if you need prescription, our RX guy's gonna be there. You want Costa prescription, he's gonna be to the right of us, and then we have the 20 feet for we're gonna have Fisherman's Landings, Costa inventory, Turners, probably island tackle. It's all going to be in one spot.
Well, it's going to be awesome. I can't wait to see you at the show. It's always a pleasure to hang out with you, Bob. And I hope everybody got a lot out of this, because Bob's a plethora of information. You guys, just the marlin fishing alone, he lights up like a Christmas tree. It's always fun. It's always fun to talk to you about marlin fishing. You've been doing it for a very long time, and you really enjoy it. You still do. You can see it on your face. Thank you guys for watching today. Hope you guys have a great weekend. Turn off the news. They're all lying. This is the only place you get the truth. And Bob and I will see you at the Pacific Coast Sport Fishing Show, right, Bob?
Okay, Dave. Thanks so much. Tight lines to you. Appreciate you having me, and we'll see you next month.
All right, bud.